morning and welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, Ibadan. I'm Manulu Akpo Idowu. We talk about foreign policy and what it means exactly today, talking about the different angles to look at the situation that is on the center focus today, which is, of course, the U.S. president saying that they've been able to stop a lot of things in the country, especially the Christian genocide conversation and counterterrorism and international military interventions that they have done. And what does this mean for policy change and the safety of vulnerable communities, and how will it impact Nigeria's internal security architecture moving forward? That is our Daybreak gist this morning.
Exactly, and I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. In a short while, we'll take you through the newspaper headlines. Pages capture the stories driving conversations across politics, security, education, governance, and the economy. We'll examine the major headlines and the issues making the biggest impact across the country.
And later on the program, our big story focuses on the immediate economic and social pressures facing millions of Nigerians across the country. And our topic is the state of citizens' welfare, assessing government response to citizens' daily realities. With the rising cost of living and growing economic hardships in the country, the gap between policy intentions and the actual lived experiences of ordinary citizens has come under intense scrutiny. While structural reforms are often defended as necessary for long-term growth, the immediate demand for effective safety nets and relief measures remain critical. How well has the government responded to these daily struggles? What urgent interventions are required to restore economic stability and improve the baseline welfare of the populace? Joining us to explore these questions is Honorable Omolaja Olaoye, an APC stalwart, this morning.
Yeah, these are very important questions that we need to answer. And before we leave you this morning, we'll revisit some of the stories, reactions, and conversations continue to attract attention across the country.
Governance is ultimately measured by the well-being of the people. It is about how policies translate into food security, economic stability, and dignity in the daily lives of citizens.
And this morning we examine both the challenges and the solutions. Welcome to Daybreak Live this morning.
Good morning to you, Yemi, this morning.
Good morning, Anne. Trust you very well.
Very well.
All right, so what we have for just this morning is this headline that says U.S. military has hindered killings of Christians in Nigeria, and that's coming from Trump. And then he spoke about, we got their first leader, their second leader, their third leader. And then when I checked online yesterday, speaking about the comments of Nigerians, so many persons applauded, President Trump, while some are asking or saying that we are not done yet. And then we see people are still dying, whether Christians, Muslims, even the traditionalists are dying. And that's why we say this all the time, that we must not lose focus on the fact that Nigerians are dying, not just people of a particular religion. And then so he actually mentioned quite a number of things to say, okay, they were able to get these people and they've been able to put a rest to it finally. But some Nigerians do not agree with us. They are not buying that statement of President Trump. Kudos to him, for the kind of things that he's been able to do in the last, let's say in the last 6-8 months now in Nigeria. And then I also watched a particular video where I think Rep Riley Moore, and of course Lara Trump, that's the daughter-in-law to President Trump, married to Eric Trump, and then they were having that conversation, and then Riley said there was a time that President Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern, and when Biden came in, he decided to remove Nigeria from that list because according to him, the insecurity in Nigeria was caused by climate. So when Trump came back, he did a new designation and added Nigeria back to that list to say Nigeria is still a country of particular concern. And that's why we are here this morning. Because just like I mentioned, some Nigerians believe that, yes, we've been able to reduce it to maybe a very reasonable limit, but some believe that the killings, are still happening across the country. I mean, when I checked online yesterday, I saw some headlines of people being killed in the northern part, Christians, Muslims, and this situation, you can see it everywhere, not just in a particular state or a particular region. So that's what we are discussing this morning, talking about the killing of Christians. We should not lose focus that Christians are dying, Muslims are dying, and even the traditionalists are dying. However, we do not see the effects of the activities of President Donald Trump in Nigeria, basically.
I've followed the conversation for quite a while now, and it's just unfolding across different topics, if you like. And one thing is, when Joe Biden removed Nigeria, according to what you said, from that list, and then the bulk of the fight then was about the farmer herder clash, and that really amounted to a lot of people losing their lives across regions like Benue State, for example, because at some point I was in Benue State, and then the government of the day at the time, Samuel Otom, the former governor of the state, put a law that there's no open grazing in that land, and that was one of the things they made as promulgations in that particular setting. And then we move on from that conversation of farmer to herder clash to maybe look at how many Christians are being killed versus how many Muslims are being killed, to look at if there was a targeted situation of the Christians, which is what they call Christian genocide in the country. So that was also on the spotlight, that was on the table of discourse, and that was also brought to the public view. And there were claims about there are more Christians that are killed than Muslims, and there are more targeted Christians in the whole conversation than there are targeted Muslims. And that was another conversation that really unfolded into this. Now that the president said what he said, I'm not one to maybe come against what he said. If you give somebody something, sometimes you need to get your flowers, you need to call it out. And I know for one, Donald Trump is not one person who will be reticent about the things he's done. He's not going to hold his lips just because he doesn't want you to feel anyway. He says what he's done. And it's left for the government of Nigeria to say, you did not do this alone, or we did it together, or whichever way. What happened was that the U.S. gave support to the Nigerian state, which we saw, and they're still giving. And that's something to applaud. Whether or not you like Trump, doesn't really matter. What matters is Trump doing something for this country in terms of security? Yes, you cannot deny. The facts are obvious, right? And so moving on from there to come out to say it, a lot of persons, I saw a lot of comments as well, people saying, why should he have come out to say all of that? But at the end of the day, what matters is not what Trump says. What matters is what we are doing as a country, as a unilateral system, as a nation, and as a country. What is Nigeria doing? What is the Nigerian security architecture doing? How much of involvement, commitment, and progress have we made in the last few days? We understand that without maybe external support, it might be difficult to make progress in terms of the security situation in the country. Why? For one, the security imbalance in the country is also linked to many other countries of the world. There are instances and conspiracy theories about some countries intentionally donating and giving support to the ISWAP and the Boko Haram sect of the insurgent groups. And then you wonder, it is not just a Nigeria thing. We understand that there's a thing as Chad to Nigeria kind of relationship in terms of terrorism as well, and some other neighboring countries. And so you want to say that it is in a way not a national issue, it is also an international issue, because they are getting support from across the world, and that's why we need external support as well. Whatever will be tackled internationally, or it should get all the international collaborators as well, which is what the US has done. We understand Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and some other countries of the world have come to Nigeria's aid to say, we are ready to help you, and they are doing what they are doing. Now that Trump has said it, I like it. But instead of being angry about this, what can we now do? What is the question now? Because it seems like at many points there's been people calling out the government that they are complicit in all of these issues. You see, there was a time, I don't want to get into some of these facts, but we saw like a helicopter. I can't remember the tag of the helicopter that was said to be coming from Turkey, and it was it belonged to the US, to the Turkey Forest Department, and then to give support to some. But anyway, we saw it land in some regions in Nigeria, and why it landed, nobody has known. It has not been public as to what they came to do and why they were bandits in that video, or people that were claimed to be bandits, and why the government has not spoken about it. We've seen a lot of senators come out and say, you know what, there are issues that some people, naming some countries, are helping these people perpetrate evil in the country, and there's nobody to call anybody to book. Just recently there were names that were released, there were names that were given, and then DSS was able to apprehend some people while they were coming from Mecca, and I think that's a development. But if you also check that report, you discover that there is a hand of the US government in the, I think it was a collaboration between the NIMC as well as the US, I think CENTCOM or Africa, so one of the establishment that sees to the issue in Africa, right? And I see that there's a lot of collaboration coming from that end. People should not get aggravated because Trump said they've been able to do this or do that. The question now is, what is our government doing, and how best and how well can they tackle this situation? It's become something that is maybe unbearable for a lot of Nigerians. We see it, one progress here, and then we see one step forward, 20 steps backward in this situation. We have, yes, we've been able to get one of the leaders of the ISWAP group. All of a sudden, 5 days after, not just 5 days, about 2 days after, there's another reported case in Plateau. There's another case in Borno. And you say, why is this happening at this magnitude? Some have said it's due to politics, that some people are trying to get the president out, but that does not even matter. If anybody's trying to get you out, what you should do is to do your job. If you do your job enough, the Nigerian people will vote for you. It's not as difficult. It's not a hard mathematics that everybody will now say, okay. Because if you understand that there's an opposition that wants you out, you know that they're trying to usurp you, it's okay. But what can you do best? What can you do better? How can you ensure security in the country? And that's what, so I really do not really want to focus more on what the president of the United States said. I'm waiting for what the president of the Nigerian state would say.
Okay, that's if Eve eventually decides to speak on the matter. And then just to add to what you said, speaking about collaboration, I remember in 2025, around December, there was a joint counter-terrorism operation in Sokoto State. And then some Nigerians, they argued that no, Nigeria was not informed about this operation. It was solely done by the United States. I remember Omoyele Sowore came online, he tweeted to say, Nigerian government are not aware of this. The United States just came, did their thing, and left. So speaking about the synergy between these two countries now in terms of how they want to undo insecurity in the country, and that's why I said we must not lose focus on the demon we are trying to destroy in a whole. That's insecurity, not just about the Christians now or about the Muslims, about the traditionalists. Insecurity is what we want to deal with. And then going forward, just like you mentioned, I'm hoping that the Nigerian government and the United States will be able to come together to achieve more great success when it comes to insecurity in Nigeria. And it's a fine place to leave that discussion.
Sorry, before we leave, briefly. I know one of the problems people have is because Trump is an outspoken president, and maybe our presidency does not come out as much. Because that issue of that launch that happened in Sokoto by the US and then something in Nigeria. But anyway, what happened was Trump came out first to say, he went on Truth Social to say, you know what, we have done this, we have done that. And then it was maybe some hours after that the Nigerian president now came out to say, yes, it was a coordinated. Anyway, we got wind of it that it was a coordinated, but some still believe to now that it was a US thing.
Mr. Bayo Onuga was on Twitter trying to tell the people, Nigerians, that okay, these people cannot just come to Sokoto to carry out an operation without informing the Nigerian government. So we should not go back and forth over issues like this. There are better things to contend with, if at all we want to argue on social media. Not about were they informed, did they just come around. Let's talk about solving insecurity, basically. And it's a fine place to leave the discussion this morning. We take a short break right now. When we come back, we move on to the big story. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
The true measure of any government is not in its promises, but in the well-being of its people. I welcome you to the big story on Daybreak Live. I'm Oluwaimia Delakon. Across the country, many Nigerians continue to grapple with rising living costs, access to quality healthcare, and persistent security concerns. While governments at different levels have rolled out various policies and interventions, many citizens are asking, are these efforts making a meaningful difference in their daily lives? And today we examine the state of citizens' welfare, assessing government's response to citizens' daily realities. And joining me to discuss this is Honorable Molajo Lawi, an APC stalwart. Honorable, welcome this morning.
Good morning, Yemi, for having me here this morning. And good morning to you, viewer home, for watching us and listening to us as well.
All right, let's start with this popular video. Trending across all social media platforms. And I'm talking about the video of the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, where she said, we are trying to empower the people and we are doing what we can. And then she mentioned that to start Akara business does not cost much. And then even corn roasting, and she mentioned quite a number of other things. But then Nigerians are not taking that conversation lightly. They are not buying into a comment and even a suggestion or encouragement, as others have said. What do you make of that statement in this situation that we are speaking about the inflation in the country? I mean, the cost of living and the realities of Nigerians, basically.
Thank you very much. It's a good conversation that is going on social media. And when you say Nigeria, it depends on who are those Nigerians you are talking about. Because when you are talking about the social media, there are specific target of people. I mean, there are specific people who are always on social media, who like to debate and talk about any event that is happening in Nigeria. But the targeted audience of Mrs. Oluremi Bola Tinubu are a lot just for some women who need some empowerment. And when you are talking about empowerment, it's different from particular job or, a blue-collar job, white-collar job, whereby people are going to be given employment letter or the scope of works or probably the incentives of the job. when you are talking about the paid job, you are talking about a white collar job. You are talking about salary that's going to be collecting every month, and you are going to. I mean, the person who is going to employ you is going to tell you the qualification they want. Probably HND, probably OND, probably BSc, depend on what they want. But now the targeted audience of Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu are just ordinary market women.
What about the young ones who cannot get a job? They're out
He
of school.
is not talking to the young one. Let me be specific. He is not talking to the young one, because the young one are made that, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu have taken care of a lot of young ones.
How?
Those who are in the school.
How?
By giving student loan.
Okay, how many?
A lot of students in our tertiary institution have access to student loan, in as much as you are eligible and you are qualified to take the loan.
So how many students have access? Because I've met some who have complained about, the rigorous process to get access to the loan.
It might be very rigorous, it might be very hard, but at the end of the day, a lot of people met the target. If you have even a lot of, there was a student union, a student union president that talks about those who are even have access to it, that are even in private polytechnics. He talks about it on social media. It's always everywhere. Whereby some of the rector or people that own the university are always increasing the price of the tuition fee. But the targeted audience of Mrs. Oluremi Bola Tinubu are those people who are in the market. You know, when the former vice president Oshibajo was going to give the soft loan to people, he doesn't go to the bank, he doesn't go to the insurance company, he doesn't come to your broadcasting station. He went to the market, because those are where people need soft loan. So I believe that is who the Mrs. Oluremi Bola Ahmed Tinubu was talking about. Those people who are in the marketplace.
Okay, let's assume that she was referring to the market women. And then this is the concern of some Nigerians, because I watch videos online, and then some are saying 10 years ago, if you decide to start an akara business, you can make huge profits, because inflation was not this biting. The cost of beans, the cost of groundnut oil, and then quite a number of other things that we need, it's not as expensive as what we have now. And so it was easy for some of those women to send their children to school, even some abroad, with the profits that they were getting from this akara business. But then, is that the reality that we have currently in Nigeria, speaking about the inflation? And then someone even gave a rough estimate of what it will take or what it will cost you to start proper akara business in Nigeria, close to 250,000 naira. What do you make of that?
Thank you very much, Yemi. This is a very nice debate that it has to go through our social media and is now trending, if not for only the contributor of those debate are always young people. You are talking about entrepreneur. You are talking about small-scale business. Come to think about it, people like me, yes, when I was, growing up, I was raised with, probably my mother was selling pepper, and I have to hawk it all around. But we are not talking about that time. We are not talking about the present moment. Let's start from Lapo. People that go to this finance company, you are talking about Lapo. The estimation, the least, they are targeted on market women who are going to borrow like 40,000, 50,000. Despite the fact that economy is biting hard. If you have to, now the most percent, according to the inflation rate, the food inflation has dropped dramatically well. Compared to probably about a year ago or about 10 months ago, it has really dropped. So probably people that want to fry akara just need about 2 or 3 bottles of what's it called? Palm kernel. By the time they get that, probably they need about 2 Congos or 3 Congos of beans.
That's small scale. And then if you decide to do that, what level of profit are you expecting?
Now, it is not about level of profit we needed.
Okay.
I got a kind of incentives and a kind of motivational speaker who tells that just make sure you make something every day. Be redundant, be not making anything. It is not the way out. Even if you target to be making 200 naira a day, by the time you are consistent on those kind of business, it is rise to 400, 500. It is not about huge profit we are not talking about. It is sincerity on the ground. We are talking about welfareism. We have seen a situation that in the United States of America, some people are going to be getting some. I have never been there, but they get some ticket for probably some food. Probably about $10, $5 worth of food, or $20 worth of food. Comparing those places with this place, a lot of people are homeless in America. You have to know that. But we are talking about incentives of Mrs. Oluremi Bola Tinubu, whose no money has been budgeted to that office. A lot of things that's been done is being done by donation. And if a lot of our in Nigeria who have NGO, who are getting money from abroad, if they are doing it, it's going to complement it.
Okay.
We can be able to talk about Mr. Oluremi Tinubu. We are not talking about the Mrs. Shey Makinde Oyo State, or probably we talk about Osun State, or probably we talk about Ekiti State, or probably we talk about Lagos State. But because of what this woman, what the predecessor have done, she has been doing it as well. You remember, a lot of women has been put into the kitchen before Better Life by what's it called, Mr. Mawagila started. And this is what other first ladies have been doing. We have to, what are our first lady in Israel state are doing? We don't need to concentrate on Oluremi Bola Tinubu. We must ask all those first ladies in the state and their governors what they are doing with their money and how they are going to be giving some welfare package to our women in different states as well.
All right. I watched a particular video, and then a lady mentioned that just recently the First Lady distributed cars to women leaders in APC. And then why is she suggesting Akara business for the women? Because you said our target audience, is talking about the women and not just the entire country as a whole. What do you make of that? Because these people are saying, I'm very sure you must have come across that video online, that people complain to say.
We even discussed it in one of our meetings yesterday.
Okay.
As an APC stalwart, we discussed it in one of our meetings yesterday.
Right. So these people have issues with the cars, and then the examples of our excellency, the Akara business, the Kulikuli business and all this. What do you make of that?
Yeah, thank you very much. You made mention of it because those who the bosses were given to are women who are part of the wing who are going to campaign for election in 2027, 26-27. So you must know that the specific scope of work of everybody is different. You are talking about this broadcasting station. When one gets your yard here, you are going to see all mix of van that are complement with time, compared to some of our state owns who are redundant, who doesn't have the kind of equipment you have. Now, those equipment are not meant for window dressing. They are meant for specific work. And these women we are talking about are going to collect those women in their within their community, and mind you, a lot of incentives are going to give to these women. Women are not meant to aid men; they are going to be taking care of women. And whatever Mr. Oluremi Bola Tinubu gave from that top is going to reach them. But they still need something to work on. They cannot just be walking on the street, or probably riding on Kabu Kabu, or probably on Okada, or on Marwa. They need something to use to do their work. I believe that is why those bosses are being given to them.
All right, away from that, let's cross over to Mr. Bayo Onanuga, essay to the president now. He also was on national TV recently, and he said that the president increased the minimum wage, from 33,000 to 70,000, and that should, count for something, speaking about the cost of living of Nigerians. He also said he had a discussion with some of his workers recently, and then he asked them questions about how they are living, and they are doing very fine. And Nigerians have this to say: these people might not experience what the commoners are experiencing because they work for you. They are exposed to luxury in a certain way, and maybe not in a big way. So what do you make of that? This increase in minimum wage, and then I think a day later, that's the chief of staff to the president, Majamia Mila, mentioned that the government is interested in doing a review of the current minimum wage that we have now. Now let's talk about this review that we are planning for, because I remember in 2024 when the presidency said we are now paying paying 70,000 naira. It was said that the next review will be after 3 years, no longer 5 years. So it means we're getting closer to that particular review. Now, what will be your best advice in terms of this review? What do you think the government should do in terms of increasing, this current minimum wage that will, in a way, relieve Nigerians?
I believe, like you said, Bayo have said what he said, and Bajami Amila made Nigerians to realize that the president even want to increase the minimum wage more than that. It is only the governor, which me and you know, when they are doing all the negotiation, what the presidency proposed, the federal government proposed, and what the state government proposed, because they have to work in pair, and one is not going to work against each other. So, and Bajami Amila said that the same salary is meant to be reviewed. They are going to review it in the course of time, and they are going to make sure they provide a lot of welfare to our workers. Now I accepted that, but at the end of the day, we must consider people on the road as well, because the more there is increment in minimum wage, the more there is going to be inflation that is going to rise as well. I think what the government needs to do is that for them to make the food to be more cheaper. I went to Saudi Arabia recently, and I can see that there are provision of, they have food in abundance, despite the fact that they don't have fertile land. And you wonder why it is. And a place like Nigeria, who has everything, we have grasses, we have trees, we have everything we can call up, and we have it, and we are not making use of it. That means there is something wrong somewhere. And I know the security is part of it as well. When we have a secure nation, when nobody is going to be able to be kidnapped from the farm, I think we are going to, the incentive the government is giving when it's come to farming is going to come to realization, realistic, realistic in the sense that we are going to feel that impact that food is going to be more cheaper. So I think what the government needs to do, by providing low-cost housing estate, in a place like Britain, the contribution of the government to building houses is not cheap at all. It is everywhere. So, despite the fact that they are having issue of housing problem in a place like UK, but if government can provide incentives, provide a kind of bank that can give workers incentive to build house, I think transportation, house, and food.
Speaking about transportation, let's talk about the cost of fuel now, because we all know that the cost of fuel will always affect every single thing. Talk about the price of food in the market, talk about virtually everything. Now, I remember there was a time that the presidency came out to defend that policy, to say we decided to remove subsidy. We decided to remove subsidy because we want to prepare Nigerians for a better future. But I just are asking, at what point are we going to enjoy the benefit of removing subsidy?
I think we must commend the president, and I think we must commend all those who have been giving incentives to Dangote to create that kind of a company that is going to be giving us relief. The more we are enjoying fuel in Africa right now, despite the fact that they've removed subsidy, it is problem to where it's being imported from the four European. They are not complaining. As of recent, Dangote is going to create, about to establish another refinery in East Africa. And the World Bank said that it is kind of their, Dangote want to be monopolizing, you are talking about fuel in Africa.
But we have 4 moribund refineries in Nigeria.
Whether we have it or not, it is the work of the civil servant. It is work of Nigerians. Those who are working there are not from Ghana, are not from Togo. It's been sabotage. And when it's been sabotage, are you going to blame the government alone?
Well, the government can do something about it.
That is why Dangote was brought into forefront. And when Dangote has been brought to the forefront, it has been a threat to them. Now they have, NNPC have gone into kind of contract with Chinese company to revive those refineries.
But can Dangote run his refinery like a public-owned refinery?
It is working right now. We don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. But the stability when you are talking about, well, if not for Dangote, we'll have seen hell because of Iran and the United States of America war. Have you heard what Trump said? He said they are running out of reserve they have. That if they can be having this kind of war in the next 4 months, they are going to have problem. It is not only in Nigeria. Fuel is being expensive everywhere in the world. You are talking about UK, you are talking about Europe as a whole, you are talking about United States of America, you are talking about Saudi Arabia.
But what if you have just one working refinery in Nigeria?
It is more than one working. We are going to have it, of course.
When?
Yeah. Now, people have been working. Adwa is about to establish his own, is on verge of being open, whether we like it or not. Let's say 2 years, 3 years. It is not like before when we have been being the problem for the last 25 or 30 years. We knew that, and we knew that with the contract, the NNPCL have gone with Chinese company. I think something better is going to come out of it as well. So when we add all this, the stability, and there's going to be serious competition when it's come to heat in Nigeria. You see, as of recent, there was increment in gas. It was President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that compelled Nigeria looking price NLC or something like that they must be selling to Nigeria. A lot of them prefer to be selling abroad because they make money when they sell abroad.
It's still expensive.
No, I think they said it has reduced from 2,000 naira because we bought it last
from 2003 or 2000.
No,
2000.
I bought when you go to the so-called dealer directly, you are going to get it like 2,000. But if you are buying it from your area, where people just ordinary the retailer,
80% Nigerians will buy from those people.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But I think it has come down to probably about 1,003, 1,004 right now.
No, I don't think so.
Because that's what I heard.
I think it's about 2,000 naira now. But then we need to go. We need to go. But because I know that there was a reduction of today's big story, I'm Oluwayemi Adelakun. We take a short break, and when we come back, we conclude the program. Please stay with us.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting edge.
Any topic on the economy is never ending, and that's one thing we must know in the country. Until it gets better, we won't stop talking about it. Hear me? That was a fantastic conversation.
Exactly, and we could not even touch, quite a number of other things, but we were able to establish, very important factors that are responsible for maybe I don't want to say the suffering that Nigerians are going through now, maybe the struggles of, Nigerians.
You're being frugal with your words. It's suffering.
Exactly.
I call it what it is. Anyway, my name is Anulo Akwedo. Thank you so very much for joining us. Same time, same station tomorrow. I will be here with you tomorrow.
And of course, my name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers